Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be running you through a bit of a rundown of what I do before a drift event. First thing you do, organise a trailer. It's usually the hardest thing to kind of get if you don't really have a constant hookup. So the first thing, always organise your trailer weeks and weeks before the event. Rule number 2, always bring tools and spare parts. So I had to go to Super Cheap Auto and get a socket kit because I don't have any sockets that aren't the ones in my main toolbox, and also got a drive belt for the Falcon because that's only the real thing that's going to go wrong with this thing this weekend, hopefully. But you always got to prepare, and some tyre shine because you want it to look pretty. Step 3, locate the vehicle and make sure she turns on. Flat battery, cuz. Make sure car starts, drives, moves, runs, goes into gear. All the tyres are pumped up. And yeah, just a general overlook of the vehicle. Make sure everything is there. For example, all your harnesses are, intact. You got all your harnesses, your handbrake works, your brakes work, all your fluids are topped up. Make sure all your levels are at the correct temps. You got fluid, make sure you got clutch fluid, especially after what we did this week. Well, yeah, last week's video, we dropped the box, changed the slaves, did the master, bled it up, it's all sweet as. So just making sure all your fluids are up to date, all your oil's up to date, you've serviced it recently. Your battery, mine's a bit average because it keeps going bloody flat, but I think it's just, yeah, seen better days. But yeah, other than that, just go over the whole vehicle, make sure there's nothing hanging down, hanging off. And yeah, just overall have a good look at the vehicle, make sure everything's sweet. Step 5, tools. You want to bring a toolkit. I'm currently in the process of taking what I need out of this toolbox to fit in a smaller toolbox to take with my new toolkit that I just bought. So, oils and stuff, I always bring gearbox oil, engine oil, coolant, power steering. So with the Falcons, they are coils, like they've got coil packs. I always bring coils, plugs just in case, bring some hose and stuff, just general overall hose, a little homemade bleeder thing, and yeah, some more coils, WD-40, spare brake pads, brake fluid, and just general sprays and stuff like that, and rags. Make sure you bring your rags. But yeah, so that's kind of all for oils. I'm sure I'm missing something. If you guys follow this channel, you know I'd only recently moved into the shed, so there's kind of stuff everywhere. There's stuff at mum's place, dad's place, in the shed, at home, in all my cars. So yeah, there's shit going on everywhere. I always bring a box full of crap, just shit that you think you'd never ever need. So I got a whole thing of bolts, just probably every bolt you can think of almost in there that you use, obviously. I got some of my harness stuff, just so if I ever get caught out and missing a bolt, I've always got spare little nicks and knacks, bumper clips which I don't use, spare nuts, and then I've got important stuff such as so important little things which are easy. So I've got important shit / studs. So I've got clutch bolts, bell housing bolts, big washers, yeah, and just battery terminals. I've got studs, fuel O-rings, just seriously a whole range of stuff that you're probably not going to use, but at the track you seriously want to be prepared, especially going there for a whole day. You never know what you or your mates may need. So that's kind of what I bring, preparation stuff. Obviously tools and stuff vary what you have. You could seriously go there with a shifter and a screwdriver and probably be alright. But a lot of the time, little stuff like coilover keys, you wouldn't bring them. Or you wouldn't pack them because you don't go, oh, I'm going to use them. But you never know. Like I adjusted these, my coilovers actually raised it, 2 nights ago. So you never know, after driving it for half an hour, they might come loose. So always prepare for things to come loose and happen and break. Obviously if things break, you can't really fix them with tools. you kind of have to replace that part. Hence why I always bring spare little bits and bobs. Really know your vehicle, really know what main and common issues are with the vehicle that you're taking. For example, with the Falcons, their drive belts, they slip off, they come off, they snap, they break, yada yada yada. Again, they do misfire a little bit. They're pretty known for misfiring with misfire coils, plugs. Got both of those ready to go in case. And then just overall lines and coolant and just general stuff that you think that you may need. But yeah, that's kind of all I bring. Obviously I bring all my camera gear. I bring 2 sets of ramps. So obviously they're still wrapped up at the moment, but the GK Tech low profile ramps, they're wicked. They're so handy just to have around. Then I've got the big car jacks, which I use to actually jack, for example, the rear of the Prado up, so it's easier to get lower cars onto the trailer. And yeah, always check your oil, coolant, and you shouldn't have an issue. And you limit your issues. Next thing, rattle guns and stuff. Rattle guns, breaker bars, always stuff like this. So, rattle gun, make sure your battery is charged because you don't want to be doing everything by hand. So you got that on charge. You don't bring the charger up, well me personally, because they last a little while, the good old super cheap auto specials. Always bring a breaker bar. Hammers, need those. Your mallet. I like to bring kind of just all the main basic stuff. You probably don't need a tape measure, but little multi-grips like this, like that comes in handy. But is it worth bringing it? Do you think you're actually going to need it? Because when you're drifting, ideally you want to pack as light as possible, because one, you've got 1500 kilo car on the back with 500 kilo trailer. It's 2 ton just behind your vehicle. Then include your tires, include all your stuff in the actual tow car. It, you know, it weighs these things down, especially being a petrol. Like this will drink fuel like crazy with it fully topped up. So yeah, pack light, but also pack efficiently, and think ahead of what is kind of going to break, what's kind of going to go wrong. Obviously, if your motor's going to blow up and you've got oil in it and it's just tired, you can't fix it on the track really, unless you got a replacement and you're a whiz. But there's only so much you can do on the track, so bring what you think you're capable of doing at the track on jack stands pretty well by yourself, because half the time, you know, me, I am by myself or with one other person, so I don't have a huge group of blokes that I go drifting with. Most of the time, if you don't have something, you go for a walk around the pits and someone's going to have something. All you got to do is just ask. So yeah, make sure you bring all the important stuff. So obviously tires are a huge consideration when going drifting. So for my naturally aspirated standard manual Falcon, I'm bringing 2 brand new sets of Salins, which are a really good tire. So they're an 18 inch, so 2 brand news, 2 already on the car. I've got two ready to go. And then I have for the skip pan and stuff, I've got a set of Kumho's second handies, which I've had for a while. Decent tread, but not bad, definitely legal. And they're just, yeah, to burn when I even if I run out of tires, if I run out of these, backups, and then back up again. I've got these brand new, I don't know what they are, that brand. I guess I got a pair of those, which are, again, they're not going to last me too long purely because they are pretty dry rotted. 216s are on for the skip pan, and the 18s are actually for the track. Brand newies I always recommend on your first event. Go buy some brand newies, because you know what, by the time you spend, you know, 50 bucks on a pair of these, when these are what, $65 for one, you get double the life out of a brand newie than you would 2 sets of second handies. So if that makes sense, I'd always go for the brand newies, but if you're on a budget, second handies are wicked. You just have to carry a lot of rims with tires, or a lot of loose tires, which I have previously. A lot of my earlier stuff always ran second handies, which I was always bringing like a row of tyres, which was such a preak to carry in the car and carry in the tow car and strap somewhere. But honestly, try the brand newies. You can't go wrong with them, especially Salins and Max Tracks. For the price, you cannot physically go wrong. Alrighty, after a bit of a walk around the shed, I'm pretty sure I am sorted regarding everything I need to bring. So guys, yeah, now, next step, find a spot for everything. Ideally, I should be able to fit all of this in the back of the drift car, which would be wicked. Well, in a normal Falcon, you'd be able to fit most of it in a drift car, but considering mine is that clapped out, I'm probably going to struggle. And that's why. So, if you can't tell, this thing has definitely been in a rear end. It's actually been in about 3. All before I owned it, obviously. When it was a street car once upon a time. But yeah, we'll start just chucking everything in here. Doing our best to kind of, yeah, make it all fit without having to slap it in that. Alrighty, last 2 pieces of the puzzle, and they don't fit. So these actually won't fit through this gap, nor will they fit through this gap. So I suppose you're gonna have to go on the back of the Prado. Oh well. We're up to the interesting bit. So we're about to load the BF on the trailer. As you can see, I've actually put the Prado up on stands, so we can get that angle that I was telling you guys earlier about with the trailer, so it makes it a lot easier to get the car on the trailer. As long as that Prado doesn't move, it's in park, and it's also got the handbrake on and chocked the front wheels, we shouldn't have an issue. We had to move it from that white strip just because those ramps weren't sitting flat.